Over 4 years have passed since the e-toll user pay scheme was switched on in December 2013 to pay for Gauteng's freeway upgrade. To date, over 3 million motorists have refused to pay for their e-toll bills worth over 9 billion rand. And SANRAL's dire financial situation gets worse by the day.
It's not sustainable. When a government goes to war with its people on a scheme or a plan that the people have rejected, government starts to suffer from a crisis of legitimacy.
So where did it all go wrong? Back in 2007, SANRAL sold the e-toll plan to government as a way of financing Gauteng's freeway upgrade. It comprised a new Drive Now and Pay Later electronic billing scheme, with tags in vehicles and a set of 45 gantries placed every 10 kilometers or so. At the time, SANRAL said they could achieve a payment rate of 93%, which would give them the required 260 million rand per month to cover the costs of collection and the 22 billion rand borrowed for the freeway upgrade project. How wrong they were. The scheme was doomed long before it started. SANRAL thought they could salvage the situation through an aggressive marketing drive. By the time of launch in December 2013, only 15% of motorists had tagged up. Coercive messages threatening to criminalize motorists only managed to drive compliance levels to 40% by June 2014. Which was the highest level achieved at 120 million rand and around 140 million rand short of the target. Clearly, SANRAL had underestimated the public's resistance, and the e-toll income began to decline as their threats of criminal charges were not forthcoming. By late 2015, SANRAL desperately introduced a new plan to offer 60% discount to all e-toll defaulters to entice motorists to settle outstanding bills. By May 2016, less than 2% of outstanding e-toll bills were settled. The people remained resilient. E-toll debt increased to over 210 million rand a month.
It failed. Completely failed. It didn't generate the responses they wanted. It didn't give the public the opportunity to participate.
But what other options did SANRAL or the government have to finance the freeway upgrade? After all, it had to be paid for. The option that OUTA suggested was the fuel levy. It is a very efficient user pay and road financing policy, which government has been using for several decades. A very slight adjustment to the fuel levy achieves a virtually 100% compliance rate and has zero administration costs, which is what you want for a user pay scheme. It has no need for gantries, no tags, no paperwork, and no postal services required. E-tolls, on the other hand, has extremely low compliance levels, and the cost to administer were estimated at 1 billion rand a year. Did you know every time you start your car, you're contributing to the fuel levy? About 190 rand of your 60-litre tank refill goes into the fuel levy. A simple 10 cents per litre added to the fuel levy in 2008 would have already paid for the freeway upgrade today. Since then, government has raised the fuel levy by 2 rand, which is 20 times more than the initial ask of 10 cents. Today, the fuel levy earns government 75 billion rand per year, of which roughly 1/3 comes from Gauteng motorists. Yet Gauteng has less than 2% of SANRAL's freeway network. After 4 years of e-tolls, SANRAL have billed around 12.6 billion rand and only managed to collect 3.6 billion rand, the bulk of which went to CAPS Trafficom for administering the scheme. The public have refused to pay the difference, and the 22 billion rand bond borrowed from the Public Investment Corporation remains in place.
We always say it's never too late to undo a bad decision. It's just got to start now.
Every day the authorities delay on halting the e-toll scheme, is another day of mounting debt for Sunroll and South Africa. It's time to pull the plug on the e-toll scheme. #EndETolls.